Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between TY and Maru on Daybreak, the latter edition. In the top right side of the map, we have the red Terran player. It is Maru. And in the bottom left side of the map, we have the blue Terran player. It is TY. We have cast a TVT between these two players previously on the channel. If you missed it, there's a link in the top right. If you're a TVT fan, it is very, very excellent. But the person that sent me these two replays said this is the better of the two. So go ahead and buckle up, strap in, and be prepared for an amazing TVT between two very, very amazing and special StarCraft 2 players. Alrighty then, so here it is on Daybreak. Multiple attack paths. This debris in the very middle can be broken down for another attack path. And an expansion pattern that is pretty much followed by everybody who plays on this map, as long as they're professional or GM. First base here, natural base below if you're in the top right, and then third base below that, fourth base to the left, and then fifth base in the bottom right. And from there, I don't know that I've seen many people take a sixth base on this map. I guess I have with Zergs once in a while, once in a very, very long while. That does happen, but in the meantime, we're just going to look at 5 bases possibly in this game. Again, possibly 2. It is a TVT. It doesn't necessarily have to be a super duper long macro game. We've seen a lot of TVT cheese in that cheese compilation I cast just recently. Did you enjoy that cheese compilation? Anyway, both players are going Reaper. So the red Reaper out of Maru here is going to be the guy behind you. Backstory. Look out your window. Alright, so this guy's a creeper that looks in people's windows. And maybe as a result of that, he got caught and sentenced to be a Reaper, which seems like a pretty appropriate punishment for someone who's peeping in people's windows as the guy behind you. The blue Reaper from TY's name is XX Pro Reaps XX. Backstory. He was sick of being a meme, so he went to the Dominion to be a soldier instead. So this guy, I'm assuming, is from Overwatch, right? The really angsty, like, just wearing dark all the time, a Reaper character. It was very fun for people to make fun of. I've seen some stuff posted on the Tumblrs about Reaper and how he's always he's kind of the emo version of Overwatch. Where the heck? They're both taking the respective Zelnaga watchtowers on their side of the map. So the guy behind you is to the right, and then XX Pro Reaps XX is over here on the left one. Moving out a little bit. Nope, just here for scouting purposes. Actually brought an SCV up to TY to hold this left Zelnaga watchtower. And another Reaper here from TY. What is happening? How does he need another Reaper at this point? He's double Reaper expanding with a Cyclone. Like I said, some early aggression can be very, very positive for players who use it in TVT. So 2 Reapers and an SCV and a Cyclone moving out for TY. What does Maru have to defend against this? He does have a bunker up, which I'm a fan of. Bunker, again, is armored, will take extra damage from the Cyclone, but should be able to survive long enough for some good things to happen, unless that Marine does not get inside that bunker. Get inside the bunker, Marine. Get inside the bunker. Meanwhile, our friend, the guy behind you, is sneaking in. Oh, he's going to kill the SCV, building the expansion in TY's base. Meanwhile, an attack here at the front. Wouldn't mind burrowing itself and is going to force that Cyclone back just a little bit, trying to burrow into a place where it can get in range. KD8 charges, getting rid of the Widowmine. Almost 2 hit points remaining on that Widowmine. Meanwhile, KD8 charge and a self-detonation there by the guy behind you inside TY's mineral line. And he actually is not sending these SCVs back to work, which seems like a problem. SCVs forced to fight for their lives against this Reaper, and it does end up getting killed thanks to some Marine support there. So both XX Pro Reaps X and the guy behind you die, but both are involved in some pretty simultaneous attacks in each other's main bases. Let's look at the results here. 2 SCVs killed by Maru. He lost 2 Marines in the process, but was able to kill 2 of the Reapers and the Cyclone. Going back and forth, I missed exactly what killed that Cyclone. I have to assume it was the Marines, though. Marines coming out of the bunker. Possibly the Widowmine got it. Where is our Widowmine? Did it die? It didn't die, but it doesn't have any kills either. So it wasn't the Widowmine sitting here on this ramp leading up to the natural base for Maru. Is there already a drop coming? TY already has a drop coming to follow that up. He's got a tank and 4 Marines in that medevac, moving up to Maru's natural base. Got SCVs transferring to the natural for TY as well. It is 28 to 33 harvesters. Maru has a lead there, but is he prepared for this drop? There's a Viking patrolling the left side of his main base, but he's not actually looking or watching his natural base at all, or the dead air space around it. He has no idea this is coming whatsoever, not pulling his SCVs. Tank is landing, going into siege mode, and absolutely shutting down the mining at this natural base immediately, killing an SCV. A tank for Maru is out, and got some Marines too, but I don't know if he can break this, as the thing moves in with the tank and the SCVs and the Marines. Going to try to hold this off, and he is going to be able to take down this tank, that's for sure. Marines focusing that down. The Marines on the ground as well. The Viking is chasing away the medevac, and TY's medevac forced to retreat. Maru does manage to break that, but again, losing more stuff. Maru has lost 10 Marines and an SCV in exchange for 4 Marines, a tank, a Cyclone, 2 Reapers, a medevac, and 2 SCVs for TY. So I'm going to assume, yeah, about 1,200 resources lost for the Blue Terran TY and only about 650 lost for Maru at this point. Another drop coming in. Tank, 4 Marines here on top of a tank in siege mode in Maru's main base. Oh no, tank dies immediately, but there is a Raven throwing down an auto turret. SCVs for Maru forced to fight in this situation, not where they want to be. SCVs getting a surround on a tank. You don't see that every day. Tank does end up with 4 kills, but does actually get killed by SCVs. Holy crap. The medevac was forced to retreat there as there's a Viking in the sky. Maru making a very good decision to go for that Viking. And TY expanding again behind this, expanding to a base again to the north of his natural. Nothing too weird about that, but he is expanding while doing all of this aggression on his opponent. 6 SCVs lost by Maru. Now that hurts. That hurts quite a bit. Continued Marine and tank production out of Maru, which is a little bit more standard than the Cyclones and Reapers we saw early for the mid-game. Anyway, TY's actually supply blocked here. He's got 2 supply depots building, but they're not done yet. And let's go supply depots. Chink. There they are. All right, so now continuing to produce units. See, even the pros get supply blocked sometimes, but that is not an excuse. Not an excuse for you to get supply blocked, viewer. Not at all. Maru trying to land his fully completed orbital command down here at the 3rd base location to the south of his natural. Another drop for TY coming out. He is absolutely playing the aggressor in this matchup, and I love it. I love what we're seeing out of TY in this match. Maru, again, did kill the SCV building the expansion for TY, but the aggression has definitely gone to TY since that very moment. Coming up with 2 medevacs, with 2 tanks and a bunch of Marines here. Actually gonna land the Marines. Yep, try to chase that orbital command back where it came from. We don't like your kind round this part. Gonna try to kill it, but we have Vikings in the sky, a Raven, and 3 tanks for Maru. Might be able to chase this off, depending on the positioning of an auto turret. The Vikings getting some shots off on the medevacs, while the Marines are trying to protect them. Yes, getting out of there are the medevacs. They know they will die if they stick around too long, but that leaves the Marines a little bit unprotected by medevac healing support. So both players positioning here just a little bit. TY leaving a Marine to check if Maru is going to re-land that 3rd base or not, but he's going to die before we can tell anyway. Bam, blown out of the sky. Actually blown out of the ground by those tanks. +1 attack coming on for both of these players for their infantry, +1 armor as well. Stim on the way for TY. Does Maru already have Stim, or is he just bypassing that entirely? I feel like he might be bypassing. No, he already has Stim. Already has Stim. I guess I could see that with this. Upgrades? No. Upgrades? No. Somebody told me what that was. G. Yeah, Stim. Is that what's on the way or what's already done? That might be entirely misleading right now. No, you know what? That might be right. Stim +1/+1 is done for Maru. TY is finishing up those upgrades now, but they're not done yet. Okay, yeah, so I think that is actually accurate here. So Maru holding the left Zelnaga Watchtower with Marines, and SCV holding the left, or the, did I say left or right? The right Zelnaga Watchtower is being held by Maru, which is his side of the map. TY holding a Zelnaga Watchtower on the left with a total of 1 SCV. Trying to set up maybe for a 4th base already as TY. He has a supply depot in the top left base here, but look at them, both placing sensor towers at the exact same location on exact opposite ends of the map inside their main bases to cover any flight paths that come into the main base. Again, nothing to cover the 3rd bases though, and no missile turrets either for either player. Pro players, especially Koreans, really hate static defense. I have noticed. They're not huge fans of it. When I see it, I'm actually pretty surprised that people bothered to make it. Although, what was that game I just cast? It was Dark versus Gyeonggi. And Gyeonggi actually did build some missile turrets to defend his 3rd, and it worked out pretty well for him. So if you didn't watch that game, go watch it. Just search for Dark on the channel. It's the most recent Dark cast. You'll find it faux show. All right, so threatening a little bit is TY while establishing his 4th base, because that's what you do when you're pro, is you harass and threaten and push and do not allow the opposing player to do anything to you while you're expanding like crazy behind it. It's hard to pull off, but if you can do it, you're going to win. Vikings finding a lone Viking of TY's in the bottom right corner, taking it out. 5 Vikings to 1 is not a fair fight. Maru, come on. But I guess StarCraft 2 is not about being fair, is it? It definitely is not. So a bit of a lull in the game as both players are expanding. Both players are trying to macro up right now. It is 70 to 66 harvesters in favor of TY. Both players making Marines, both players making tanks. +2/+2 on the way for both sets of our Terran, and +2/+2 closer to finishing on the bio side for Maru than it is for TY, which makes sense as he's been faster on those upgrades throughout this entire game. So tank count is always interesting to look at. Let's look at this. I pressed T for tank count instead of U because I'm dumb. 8 tanks on the ground for TY, 7 for Maru. Not really enough to make much of a difference. There have been some proposed changes to Hydralisks, and I'm not sure if those will actually be out by the time this posts, or if they decide to do it at all. But basically increasing the health pool of Hydras by 10 from 80 to 90, I believe is what it is. But anyway, shouldn't change a whole lot. Somebody did a big write-up on Reddit about that. But Maru pushing forward a little bit with his Marine count. He does have +2 attack done, +2 armor is close to done, not quite there yet. And there it is. It is finished. Liberators setting up for Maru as well. No Liberators for TY right now. Viking out for Maru, super high as well. I like what Maru's doing here. Couple Liberators. Vikings to hold that air superiority. Marines walking into the circles of safety and picking off a tank and then retreating again. Marines coming in, getting destroyed by Liberator attacks. Marines taking off another tank on this left side. Auto turret being tossed down by Maru, doing some damage as well. Another tank falls for TY. What? Tank count is now 7 to 8. What on earth? How is it exactly the same? TY continuing to make tanks at a pretty fast rate, as it turns out here. So again, Maru, I feel like, won that engagement pretty handily, but at the same time, it is still 4 bases to 3. Although Maru just did land his 4th base a little bit to the left of his 3rd. Maru trying to threaten this 3rd base of TY. Can he get there is the question. Liberator's going to set up defender modes, circles of doom for those Marines on the ground anyway. Again, Vikings really want to chase those medevacs off here. Maru slowly inching forward right now. He's got tanks in position. He's got Marines to support. Picking off a supply depot. Anything you could do to take down the Terran forces, like any supply depot, is going to be a big deal here against a player as great as TY is. TY moving out with Marines, with tanks, heading up to threaten this 4th base of Maru. Forced to pull back a little bit. Are some Marines and some tanks and Liberators setting up those defender mode circles. Does TY not have any Liberators? It's all Marine tank right now, you guys, and medevac. It's very interesting. Oh, Maru found the secret 4th base of TY. Nothing defending it at this point. He's going to lose this command center and these SCVs for sure. But turnabout is fair play. TY walks right into the 3rd base of Maru, takes that orbital command out of the sky just like that. Both players are supply blocked right about now. TY might be a little bit trapped at this moment in time is the problem. He can't really go north because there are Marines and tanks there. He can't go to the left because there are Marines and tanks there as well. If Maru can burn this army out, he's going to be in a really great position. Tanks are set up for TY. He's kind of holding the fort right now. Marine versus Marine upgrades are very similar. They both have +2/+2. I think they do. They both have +2/+2. Marines come to the left side for Maru to pick off those tanks. 1 tank, 2 tank. Still a tank remaining, but Maru forced to push on back. TY somehow winning this thing just barely. Last tank for TY killed by a Liberator shot in defender mode, reinforcing Marines and tanks coming in for TY as well. And actually, somehow TY now has a huge army threatening this 4th base of Maru. After killing the 3rd, if he takes down the 4th, that's a huge pickup for him. Nice comeback from where he was previously in this game. Can he take down this planetary fortress? There's this 1 tank. Really, nope. Liberators set up and killed that as well. So a lot of dead tanks, man. 10 tanks lost for TY. 7 lost for Maru at this point. APM for these players, over 300 each. 365 for TY and 344 out of the Maru. TY trying to sneak up with a drop up north, but again, there's a sensor tower here. So if Maru's paying attention, he sees this and he reacts to it in time. Missile turrets getting some shots off on those medevacs. Look, static defense. Hey, remember what I said about static defense and they don't like to build it? Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. They both have, there's the 3 and 2 missile turrets, so nobody's really going crazy with missile turrets, but there are some protecting the main base mainly, is what it looks like for both of these players. Can that tank actually, the tank can hit the main base of Maru's from, again, this location, this 6th base that nobody actually ever takes, directly to the left of the main for Maru. TY's replanting his 4th base up along the left. He's also got an orbital command here at a 5th base location directly to the left of that left Zelnaga watchtower. And yeah, so both players are sitting on... Well, actually, Maru hasn't really been able to retake... Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. He hasn't been able to take a 5th base at all to this point. TY moving up a small group of Marines to check for that. There's not one there. He's got to feel happy about that one. And then sending Marines down the middle to pick off that sensor tower that Maru had built right on that Zelnaga watchtower on the right side. Nope, you can't have a sensor tower there. Sorry about that. Maru is building a command center to land at that 5th base, but again, the longer this goes, I just feel like TY, there we go, his 5th base is done. Up in the top left side. We're going to call that his 5th, and this one is 4th to the right of his 3rd, just because it's easier if I do it both the same way for these players. Big old drop coming in to the main base of TY, though. Maru setting up tanks, setting up Liberators. Missile turrets are trying to get rid of the Liberators. No, those guys are gone as well. Tanks splashing on everything. TY responding pretty well, though, bringing tanks of his own. Vikings in the sky at the same time. Liberators forced to pull on out. Where did his Vikings go is the question. Tanks are trying to kill production facilities of TY, is going after add-ons, getting a couple tech labs here, getting rid of supply depots at the same time. TY needs to stop this now. He's losing a lot of production. A refinery falls as well. I know it's one in the main base. It only has 50 gas remaining, but still. But actually, the command center was gone already. Never mind, not a huge deal. So Vikings going to chase the Liberators away. Marines trying to get rid of those Vikings from the ground. Their range is not as long, though, and that can be difficult to do. And a retreat by Maru. One medevac is killed. A full medevac killed as it retreats by the Vikings. Able to get there. TY pushing on in here. Both players essentially maxed out. 190 to 200 total supply. TY has a lead, but it really is kind of inconsequential right now. Marines versus Marines. There are a lot of Marines for TY. 61 to 45. Big time Marine attacks. Tanks trying to set up in positions to assist as well. Both players do have +3 as they should. As any good Terran should at 16 minutes into a game. I don't care who you're playing against. You should have the +3. It just makes Marines so much better. So much better. The reason there aren't Marauders, in case you're wondering, is because Marauders take extra damage from tanks, and with that damage being upped like crazy, that just means Marauders are essentially useless in TVT, especially if there are a lot of tanks on the ground. And there always are. There always are many tanks. Unless somebody's going like Sky Terran, which we have seen before, but not too frequent of an occurrence. 5th base is now landing for Maru just right at this very second. SCV is blocking that off a little bit. There you go. Get down there. Come back at SCVs. There we go. Not long distance mining, but instead going to mine at this new command center that is upgrading to a planetary fortress. Again, 5th base location. So 5 base to 5 base now. 67 to 64 harvesters. This is as close as StarCraft 2 is going to get at the 17-minute mark. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. Tanks here on the high ground for Maru. Reminds me of one of the final scenes of Revenge of the Sith. Anakin, I have the high ground. It's over. And Anakin's like, that's not true. And I'm just like, how does that make any sense? Why does having like 4 feet of high ground mean you've won a battle? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Anyway, moving to the bottom right here is TY. He really wants to kill this 5th base of Maru's. The army for Maru is a little bit out of position here. He is being given some time to come down and save it, as TY is a little bit hesitant about going in there. All he has is Marines here, but it's enough to pick off some medevacs in the sky before the tanks can siege up and shoo them away. Yep, TY is continuing his inexorable march towards that 5th base. And Bunge's trade right now is Maru. He's going through the middle, killing this debris. He might just go right for the 4th base if TY is going to kill his 5th. TY splitting his units, sending some back to defend, sending a huge group of Marines to take down. Was he going after the 3rd? He's going after the 3rd base instead. 4th base of TY under a lot of distress right now. Forced to lift off the command center. It dies so fast, though. Some Vikings and tanks trying to save it, but nope, completely gone. 3rd base for Maru. Second time the 3rd base will be killed by TY in this game. Actually, Maru might be able to get out of there. He is hoofing it as fast as he can to this dead airspace, and actually TY is letting him go. He's continuing to push up to the natural base, feeling pretty happy about that, but no, Maru going after the 3rd base of TY, manages to take that one out as well. TY is not able to assault the natural base. Can he get this orbital command? It did not continue flying. Oh, he might actually get it. Run, orbital command. Get to a safe place. The Marines, if they came up to this edge, they could probably kill it, but actually TY doesn't want to do that, as it turns out. Army for Maru still continuing to march along this left side. Coming to the natural base here. Vikings in the sky trying to pick off medevacs, but getting destroyed from the ground by Marines. TY picking up his Marines and getting the heck out of there. Trying to land them on top of these tanks, but Maru manages to unsiege in time and retreat. Okay, if I were Maru, maybe actually he only has Marines. Hard to kill a planetary fortress with only Marines, even if they are fully upgraded. Free tanks, though. Oh, TY has some tanks sitting out in the middle of nowhere, losing Vikings, losing tanks. And they're sieging up, but I'm not sure that was a great idea at all. Maru does not care. He takes down several tanks and a couple Vikings there with just a handful of Marines. Bad positioning by TY, losing those. 20 tanks lost by TY, only 10 lost by Maru at this point. Both players have taken huge blows, though. Blows to the head, blows to the body. Probably blows below the belt as well. Third base gone for Maru. Trying to replant it. Is he flying that command center back in? He is flying it back on in. Third base by TY is not being replanted at all. So I feel like Maru's in a pretty good place right now. Really well defending by TY, though. Replanting his fourth here, which he did lose. And defending it well with a lot of tanks. +2 attack on those tanks. Same thing for Maru. Apparently in TPT, the thing to do is get +3/+3 Marines and +2/+0 tanks. And then hope your positioning is good. Hope you have enough Vikings, but not too many Vikings. It's a crazy balancing act. Absolutely insane balancing act for these players. All right, what else are we looking at here? Moving up along this middle-ish area, Maru gets his tank set up first, which is a bit of an advantage, able to kill a couple Marines. And yeah, I don't see TY showing any interest in replanting that third base at all, and really not much there for him. I mean, if we start mining out this map, he might go back for those resources, but as it stands, he doesn't have much reason to do so. Again, nobody taking a sixth at this point. Maru has set up at both his 6 base locations, top and bottom. And he's kind of moving around with this kind of split-in-half army. Some units are here to defend the 4th base. Others sneaking up along the very, very top path to take down TY's planetary fortress at this 5th here. I don't know if he's in a position to save this right now. He is now moving Marines up, trying to get it. Tanks setting up just inside of their range, but outside of the planetary fortress range. Forced to retreat these SCBs from the 5th. Maru has enough to defend here at his 4th, though, and TY's forced to go home empty-handed after positioning and threatening to take down Maru's 4th base there. So 5th base gone for TY. Maru feeling very pleased with himself right now. Resources lost about 24,000 for the Blue Terran TY and about 21,000 lost for Maru. So again, Maru's been much, much more efficient. He has killed more bases, a planetary fortress, and 2 orbital commands in comparison to losing a single orbital command thus far for Maru. So actually getting building armor is Maru, and getting that vehicle weapons +3, tank weapons +3. I guess at the 22-minute mark, it's okay to get +3 if you're ahead. And I mean, what else are you going to spend your money on at this point? I guess he is actually sitting on about 300 gas, which is a lot for these players. So TY has a single mining base, his 4th base here, that is severely oversaturated. Maru's mining from his 3rd, his 4th, and his 5th right now. I just don't know. Can TY come back in this game is the question. I don't see how he can do it. He has made some brilliant decisions at times, but also just been blundering around a little bit, losing those several tanks he left out in the middle of nowhere with no support, no Marine support at all. And it turns out Marines are pretty good against tanks with no support, which is why it's not just mass tank against Marine, because in that case, the Marines will win that battle. As strange as it sounds, and as little as it makes sense. Whoa, TY is floating an orbital command here to the 6th base location in the very north side. Maru coming in to threaten this 4th base of TY, setting up tanks, defending as well with his Marines, but no, flanking from the top side is TY, taking out every single one of Maru's tanks there. Viking count super high for TY, getting rid of a lot of those medevacs, but Maru coming up to take down TY's attempt at a 6th base, staying just outside of tank range, sneaking around, setting up in siege mode, and yep, forcing TY to lift off his orbital command. There's some Vikings trying to snipe it down, but not really enough Vikings to kill it or really threaten it in any specific way. Maru's commando group of Marines coming into this natural base area of TY. He's trying to kill supply depots. He's trying to kill missile turrets. He's trying to kill add-ons. He's trying to prevent TY's ability to come back into this game by getting rid of his production facilities. A little bit overstimmed are these Marines. They do take down the orbital command, so fewer mules, and then picking up and boosting out with who he can save. He does manage to save everybody on the ground. I thought for sure he was going to leave those Marines to die, but nope, that is not what he did. And actually, TY manages to land this 6th base. So good for him. And you know what? Maru's taking his 6th on the bottom side of the map as well. So for all I talked about people never ever taking these 6 base locations, both players have now. I guess if your game gets to 24 minutes or over, you might as well. You might as well. Maru up 195 to 131 total supply. He is in command of this game, threatening this 4th base of TY, one of the 2 mining bases remaining to the Blue Terran player. TY does not have that +3 attack on his tanks. I'm not sure how much that actually matters. I have to imagine it can't matter too much, or else TY would have gotten it at this point. I mean, low resources notwithstanding. But again, at the end of the day, it's 200 to 130 total supply. Maru has a very nice lead on his opponent, trying to sneak on up here and then sneak back down. And then sneak on up and then sneak back down. Maru sneaking up to the 6th base. There are some Vikings here. Full liftoff by TY, getting that orbital command out of there. That's all Maru wanted to do. slow things down just a little bit, maybe get some splash damage off on some workers. Exactly what he is managing to pull off right now. Liberator's in the sky for TY for the first time in the game. No, he's actually lost 3 so far, but either way, good at taking down tanks, as it turns out. They do have +1 air weapons at this moment. So 6th base will survive for now. For TY, small group of Marines trying to do damage for Maru, but severely outnumbered by defensive Marines from TY. Maru has a small group of Marines in the top left that he's been sitting here forever. I think they're just here just in case TY decides to re-expand to his 5th base location, but coming in is Maru. Vikings in the sky, and oh, there's nothing to support the Vikings, though. Marines on the ground are tearing through them like tissue paper. Marines for TY do manage to come in and try to save it, and they do, landing Vikings to get extra DPS off on these tanks, which are mechanical. Extra damage on Vikings does apply here, and Planetary Fortress forced to hold off here at this 6th base for Maru. Tank, single Marine, Planetary Fortress holding off against a handful of Marines and 3 tanks. Rocket in here for TY, but another attack by Maru up at this 6th base for TY. Tanks on the ground, Marines on the ground as well, trying to thin out these tank count, but no, TY has so many tanks here. At the 6th base, can they hit any of Maru's tanks is the question. They're forcing a lift off on that orbital command, attempting a drop at this 4th base by Maru. TY manages to shove that away pretty quickly as well. 14 SCVs killed for Maru, but 67 have been lost by TY in this game. That is so hard to come back from. He only has 18 SCVs remaining right now. Maru is fighting so hard to win this game. He is up basically doubling his opponent's supply right now, but still can't quite put the hammer down on TY. And I guess he's just mining at this point. He's getting more and more units out. 8 Marines at a time, 3 tanks at a time, and 2 Liberators coming in as well. 164 to 91 total supply. TY, the longer you leave him alone, the longer he's going to be able to come back here and replenish his army. Coming up to threaten this 4th base. A lot of Marines, defensive Marines for TY are here. Orbital command is going to be saved. Just barely, though, by defensive play here of TY. Tanks are setting up. No landy there for you, TY. I mean, he's landing them in just random places. Why not just try to expand in the top left again? Why is he just land? I guess maybe easier repair? I really don't know. Liberator setting up shop. Only tanks defending the 6th base, and that's it. A good game. A good game out of TY. Maru is victorious. Well done to Maru in this game. Just multi-pronged harass. Maru able to do things with smaller armies, right? Smaller armies marching up, harassing, forcing liftoffs, killing bases, especially while having enough forces back home to defend against TY's attacks. It really just came down to how many buildings or command center structures were lost. TY losing 4 total, Maru losing a total of 1. TY losing his 3rd base forever, never replanting it, and losing his 5th base once, reestablishing, losing it the 2nd time, and never coming back to it. That was so difficult. So difficult to come back through. Maru's defense were just spot on. No matter what, TY did take down that 3rd base, but after that, Maru was solid in his defenses. Great job. Great job from the Red Terran player, taking a game off of one of the better Terran players on Earth in TY. Whew. All right, so that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.